This is true. This is true. The netcode is the same, so it must be right. I'm kidding.
Definitely.
All right, but it looks like we're here in winners quarterfinals with KaSh versus Salem.
Salem's playing Incineroar?
Salem playing.
Incineroar.
Let me see what I can Incineroar real quickly.
And again, like, he is friends with Mewtwo King, who is a really big advocate for buff Incineroar. So it's not far-fetched, in my opinion, that he would be playing Incineroar.
It is very interesting any way you put it, so let's see what he does with Incineroar versus KaSh's Ness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always love seeing players just play characters that are underplayed or that aren't played as often. Because Incineroar, personally, like I rarely see Incineroars play, but whenever I do, it's always so exciting to see them. Because I personally feel like out of all the characters on the roster, he's such a heavy grappler character. Like he really needs to, like his entire kit is all around just grapple in general. So he has to be very careful with a lot of his approaches, and going against someone like Ness, he does have to be very careful with his approaches. And I love that Salem is actually using Nair a lot to kind of check in whenever he's in neutral, to not only avoid that PK fire if he decides to do so, but to also land a hit if he gets close enough. And Salem is just doing a beautiful job executing those aerial hits and already taking KaSh down to 2 stocks.
Oh no, 1 stock actually. Salem hasn't dropped the stock yet.
Oh, sorry, 1 stock.
It's barely even moved from 1-1-1. Okay, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm just gonna be quiet.
Yeah.
Commentator's curse is a real thing.
Okay, Salem hasn't lost a stock yet.
You're gonna jinx it.
KaSh can change that, and he did.
That's why I didn't say anything.
That was
I mean-
a whole point. He needed that. He needed that. Come on, guys.
I mean, he kind of saw that coming, because going off stage against Ness, especially a character like Incineroar, who doesn't really have that great of a recovery, he's bound to get clipped. But
Salem trying
unfortunately,
one honestly.
but unfortunately, Ness wasn't able to make it back there towards the end, and Salem just a really fast and swift match there. I'm not sure if KaSh has any secondaries or if he has a stage in mind to try to handle out Salem, but it looks like Salem is very familiar with the matchup, especially with his movement and how he was handling KaSh there. The only tough time he had was about the only 1 stock he lost, and that was due to him not being able to recover back from a PK Thunder.
Incineroar problems.
Yeah,
This is true.
exactly.
Sure. I guess if I were to recommend a stage for KaSh, if he were to stay Ness, I don't think Battlefield's too bad, but at the same time, that still could be beneficial toward Incineroar. But at the same time, it still could be nice toward KaSh in the form of Ness. Now, if he switches, it depends on who he plays. But I don't think Battlefield's a bad stage for Ness. But he's going to switch to Lemmy.
Oh, okay. This is interesting.
What?
I'm actually kind of excited for this. This is actually very interesting.
I've been wanting to see a Bowser Jr. I'm going to be honest. I've never seen one.
The
This is
Colosseum
like-
everybody needed to see.
Exactly. I'm actually really excited because this is my first time like seeing a Bowser Jr. in the longest time. So
I've never
I'm
All the-
super excited.
Very long time. So
Yeah.
get back on the stage right now, and he got his up B clipped.
You hate to see it.
You guys are familiar with his up B. When he's out of the card, he's completely helpless.
Yep, he just needs that card. It's, you know, his life force in a sense in this game. Without it, he's kind of nothing. And, you know, it's very beneficial. So,
Yeah, and KaSh is just desperately trying to make it back onto the stage here, and Salem is just covering out every single landing option that KaSh would want to do, and he's just not letting him set up the way that he wants to, because unfortunately Bowser Jr. I feel like he does need to reset himself into neutral quite often in order to get himself set with his bombs and approaches as well too, but Salem is just not giving him that chance at all.
yeah, he's definitely not giving enough breathing room for him to even get back into neutral. He's more so forcing him to react to how he's attacking him, and what options he's choosing, he's, punishing him in a sense. And just like that, but that not alone whip, sorry, that revenge. Yeah. It's kind of a bad situation to be in, especially when you're at 3 and Incineroar can deal basically 70 damage, but unfortunately he's gonna only use it on the knee there.
Oh,
He's going for the keys. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Salem,
okay.
he ended up paying the price for that though. He would have caught it though. He
Yeah.
would have caught it, but.
He went for style.
Mhm.
What about that counter the up B I've been noticing recently is that I haven't seen it work in the last like 5 attempts that someone successfully gotten it.
Mhm.
They changed the move.
I don't know. I don't think there's been a patch recently.
At the same time,
For
down throw up.
for his up B?
Yeah.
Down throw up B. Up B literally spikes at 0 because of its mechanics. But for some reason, when I see the down throw and the up B combo come out, like the characters don't even get picked anymore. Just recover and it just dies.
The only changes I know with his up B that they did increase, I believe they increased the cone that it covers. So he's at more of a larger angle, and then I believe, can't remember, but I think he does go a little bit more higher in his recovery. But that's the only changes that I know with his up B. So maybe because of the trajectory